Yesterday, Cliff Lee formally introduced himself to the members of the media from Philadelphia. That was here in San Francisco. Earlier today, with butterflies churning in his stomach, he arrived in street clothes here at AT&T Park. And as he entered the clubhouse, he walked in and saw his number 34 jersey hanging and getting ready for tonight's first start in a Phillies uniform. As tonight, the Phils take on the San Francisco Giants in Game 2 of this 4-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. Chris Wheeler and Gary Matthews will be along in just a little bit. Yes, tonight it is the date. Cliff Lee makes his first start in a Phillies uniform, acquired just a couple of days ago from the Cleveland Indians in a 6-player trade. He came over with Ben Francisco. That's the numbers from this year for Cliff Lee with the Indians. 22 starts, 7-9 with a 3.14 ERA, 152 innings. He is a worker. He is a strike thrower. And our Chris Wheeler had a chance to catch up with him in preparation for tonight's start.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot with Cliff Lee. The way the media is nowadays, the way things are reported, there probably wasn't any doubt in your mind that something was up. But when you finally found out you were being traded to Philadelphia, what was your reaction?
It was kind of mixed emotions. Obviously, I'd been in Cleveland for a while, so I knew a lot of those guys and got pretty close with a lot of guys over there. So it was tough in the fact that I had to leave that. But also it was an opportunity to come join a team that's the defending world champions and in a good spot right now. And hopefully I can help them get to the postseason and potentially, go back to back. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's something that I'm looking forward to watch some games from the bench, and when it's my time to pitch, get out there and give the team a chance to win. So it's exciting.
What do you know about this Phillies team?
I know they have an unbelievable offense, and they won the World Series last year, and that's for a starting pitcher. That's good. That's good. That's good to know. So it's exciting, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
If you mentioned the offense, do you look forward as a pitcher to pitch for a team that normally scores runs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's that's a starting pitcher's dreams, to have guys that score a lot of runs. So with the power that a lot of these guys have, and you got guys with speed, you got every aspect of the game you need offensively on the team, and it's going to be fun. Like I said, it's a starting pitcher's dream to have an offense like this behind you, and the way they play defense too is pretty impressive. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I've watched a few games on randomly on TV here and there, and see them on SportsCenter, but other than that, I haven't really got a chance to see consecutive games, especially from the bench. So it's going to be fun to watch and be a part of.
Watching you on television, you look like a strike thrower. Tell us what kind of pitcher you are.
I like that description. Yeah, strike thrower. I break things down pretty simple. A starting pitcher's job is to go out there and give the team a chance to win, and you want to put up as many zeros as you can and get as deep into the game as you can. And really the only way to do that is to throw strikes, work ahead in the count, let the opposing team know that you're throwing strikes and you're coming right at them, so they got to start swinging the bat. So, obviously you got to mix speeds and locate and stay out of the heart of the plate. But the key is throwing strike one and letting them know you're coming right after them, and then they'll start swinging the bat and should have quicker innings. So,
hey, I got to ask you one last thing. You're back in the National League right now. That means you got to put that bat in your hand. Do you like that part of the game?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, that's the hardest thing to do in all the sport, is hit a round ball with a round bat. So it's for me, it lets obviously before we played interleague, so I had a few chances to hit, but it lets you know how hard it is to actually hit a ball. So it puts that into perspective, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's fun. It's something that I enjoy to do. I'm not proclaiming to be super good at it, but I do like it, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, Cliff, welcome to Philadelphia. Thanks for your time, and good luck in your start tonight.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Tom, with Cliff Lee, and back to you.
All right, Wheels, thank you very much. Cliff Lee, 2 for 32 lifetime as a hitter. He'll be opposed tonight by Ryan Sadowski, making his 6th start for the San Francisco Giants. Well, we're closing out the month of July, and what a month it was for the Phillies, or has been. 19 victories so far, a couple of walk-off wins, including that one by Jason Worth. The plays of the month are next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, where Toyota quality can actually save you money. Toyota's a smart way to keep moving forward. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By Citizens Bank, with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Welcome back to AT&T Park on a cool night here in San Francisco. The Phils and the Giants get set for Game 2 of this 4-game series, and the Phillies wrap up the month of July. And it's been a very successful month of July so far. 19 wins, the most in the month of July since 1977 for the Phillies, including in that 14 victories at Citizens Bank Park. And with that in mind, let's take a look back at the plays of the month for July. This one towards shortstop. Nice play by J-Roll. Slides, gets to his feet for one, over to first. How about that double play? And he pulls it toward the right side. Diving play. Ryan Howard flips to the bag and Glenn's there covering. How about that? Chase with the flip of the glove, and he got him. To the gap in left center field. Mayberry on the run, reaches down and makes the grab. Ryan Howard, a diving play, sprawls to his feet, and of course wins the race to the bag. Looper towards second, Utley to the bag. There's a double play. Reaches in, he made the catch. Pitches it back toward the middle. J-Roll has it on the bag for one, over to first. How about that? Banez on the run, dives, he made the catch. Phillies to second for one. They go back to Pedro. Oh, what a double play.
I get a feeling that'll be on plays of the month.
In the air to right center field. That one is deep. Tavares just sits and watches it go. A 3-run home run for Chase Utley. And they have, and this is unimaginable, have put a 10 spot on the board here in the bottom of the first inning. A looper toward left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Phillies around third, heading for home. Here's the throw to the plate. The Phillies win it. Pedro scores standing, and Shane Victorino has given the Phillies a 3-2 victory here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Chase sends it in the air to center field. Tavares is back toward the warning track, toward the wall, and it's off the wall, and it shoots along the warning track. Utley's around second, heading toward third. This may be an easy inside the park home run. Rounding third, heading for home, and he's going to score standing up on inside the park home run for Chase Utley, and he's going to need a breather. Baco the opposite way, a base hit, and the Phillies win it. Oh boy, they've got 5 runs in this ninth inning, and they come from behind to win it 8-7. What a homestand this has been. And in the air to left field, that one's well hit. Backing up is Jones. Grand slam, Pedro Phillies. A salami for the Phillies' third baseman here in the bottom of the first inning. And just when you wondered whether the Phillies could blow it open early, they have. In the air to left field, Soriano goes back. That's going to be a game winner. A 3-run home run for Jason Worth here in the bottom of the 13th inning. The Phillies hitless in 8 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Hitless no more, and they've won 10 consecutive games. And things are going real well right now in South Philadelphia. The plays of the month for the month of July. One more day to go. The Phils and the Giants coming up next. One of the landmarks here at AT&T Park is that 1927 style glove, oversized of course, that is out in left center field as we get set for game 2 of this 4-game series. And here's Charlie Manuel's lineup for tonight. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Ben Francisco makes his second straight start in center field for Shane Victorino. Chase Utley hits third. He's over at second base. Ryan Howard, the first baseman, bats cleanup. Raul Ibanez hits fifth, followed by Jason Worth, the right fielder, hitting sixth. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, bats seventh. Paul Bacco makes the start tonight behind the plate. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth and pitching, making his first start in a Phillies uniform, is left-hander Cliff Lee. And they'll be opposed by right-hander Ryan Sadowski from Broward County, Florida. And he's a guy who doesn't throw all that hard wheels, but he's kept the Giants in some ball games.
Went to the University of Florida. He's a Gator. And he's in the back of the media guide, which means he wasn't even on the radar screen when they went to spring training this year, but they need him right now. And he's done a pretty good job. There is a Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. Understand he has pretty good changeup and curveball. Got off to a really fast start. And these guys have not scored a whole lot of runs for him in his last few games. So as a result, he struggled a little bit.
He began his major league career with 16 scoreless innings. And over his last couple outings, he has not thrown all that well, but the team really hasn't scored a whole lot of runs for him either. So Jimmy Rollins starts things off for the Phillies here at the top of the first inning. J-Roll takes one inside, so we're underway. Jimmy overall hitting .236, 10 home runs and 46 RBIs. He is currently riding a 6-game hitting streak. And he pops the next pitch up in front of home plate. Sandoval, the third baseman, makes the call and battles the wind and makes the grab.
Time now for our Key State Chrysler Jeep Keys to tonight's game. A little overcast right now as the fog has started to come in. Well, Phillies have to stop the sloppy play they've had in the last couple of games, and it's hard to win that way. And then we're going to sit back just like everybody at home and watch Cliff Lee and see what it's like.
Yeah, Rich Doobie said the same thing. I said, what are you going to do before the ball game? Will you sit down and talk tendencies with Cliff? And he said, no, I'm going to sit back and watch. He said, I might chat a little bit to him, but you know, I'm going to learn him just as much as he's going to learn me.
I was watching that going on down there in the bullpen, you know, with Lee warming up, and dude, you know, he just kind of stood there. You know, he just watched, see what he's comfortable doing. Everybody has their own routine, you know, how they want to throw in the outfield before they get started and all. You know, he'll learn.
Well, Ben Francisco's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. And he rips that one right off the glove of Sandoval, and he's going to be aboard. Let's see how they score that one. It was hit hard, but it was a one-hopper right at the Giants' third baseman.
Yeah, this is a bullet. Tough play, but you know, that's a tough scoring decision. First hit of a game is technically always supposed to be a no doubt about it clean hit. So that's scored correctly. It's an error.
Well, that's going to be the 9th error of the season for Sandoval. And that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. See Garco and Francisco, teammates just a few days ago, talking over there at first base.
Yeah.
How's your transition been? Fine. Yeah. How's yours been?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's that time of the year, and all kinds of guys are moving all over the place today. We'll talk about some of that later on. A lot of deals today.
Chase Utley, you saw hitting .305, riding a hitting streak as well with 23 homers and 70 RBIs. He hit a home run in last night's ball game against Jonathan Sanchez, who you see right there. Sanchez got the win, and it was not without some theatrics. He released a ball, and this wasn't the first time it happened last night, but went right over the head of Chase Utley, and then Chase came back and hit a home run. The Lucky Phillies McDonald's home run jackpot contestant is Bill Goldman from Levittown, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, the Bill's going to win $100. Chase won somebody some money last night. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Chase. As we're just underway here in San Francisco, a cool night in the Bay.
Well, right around 6 o'clock, we were looking to see what the shadows would be like for the game tomorrow night. And right around that time, that fog rolled in, and it's on its way over to Oakland right now. You can see some clear skies just across the bay in Oakland, but other than that, overcast has set in. It's more fog than anything.
Yeah, knocked the sunshine right out of the ballpark. when the Phillies were taking batting practice. 3-1 the count to Chase.
The hitters hope it's that way tomorrow night when they have to face Lincecum. See right there, and over towards Oakland, there's still a little bit of sunshine on the other side of the bay, but not on this side.
And there is Oakland across the bay. You see the sunshine off the hills. Chase 4 for 13 on this road trip, and he's aboard with a walk. So the Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 out here in the first inning. Well, Wheels, you mentioned that it was a busy day in Major League Baseball, and here's some of the significant acquisitions today. Adam LaRoche, well, he went back to Atlanta. Scott Rowland waived his no-trade clause, went from Toronto to Cincinnati, and the list goes on and on and on. How about Jake Peavy going to the White Sox finally in a 5-player deal?
Yeah, he wouldn't go there originally. Edwin Encarnacion goes to Toronto from Cincinnati in the deal for Scott Rowland, so Scott back in the National League.
Victor Martinez goes to the Red Sox from the Indians. How about the Indians acquired 11 youngsters over the last week with the deals that sent Garco to the Giants, Cliff Lee and Francisco to the Phillies, and Martinez to the Red Sox.
Well, you see the direction they're headed.
Ryan Howard riding a 9-game hitting streak into tonight's ball game. Count 1-0 to him. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike.
This guy Sadowski has 14 walks, 14 strikeouts coming into this game tonight. So, you know, you look over that, go over the scouting reports, watch what he throws, and figures you got to work the count on him.
Well, he definitely pitches to contact. A minor leaguer who won 32 games before being called up to the majors. 32 games since he was selected in the 12th round in 2003 out of the University of Florida. See how the infield is set up for Ryan, and the outfield as well. In the infield they play him to pole, in the outfield, in center and left at least, they play him to go the other way.
Aaron Rowan back in center field tonight.
3-1 the count to Ryan.
That was a fastball. That looked like a changeup out of his hand, but it was 90 miles per hour. Really kind of tailed away from him.
Sadowski made his major league debut on June 28th for the Giants. He replaced Jonathan Sanchez, who was taken out of the rotation at the time. It was the first time that the Giants had deviated from their opening day starting rotation. That's in for a strike, and it's 3-2. In fact, they became the final team in Major League Baseball to go to their 6th starter. You see Raul Ibanez waiting on deck. Three balls, 2 strikes, the count to Ryan. And he stays alive.
Yeah, and you can't run here. Wait, I shouldn't say you can't here, but normally wouldn't, because he strikes out so much, and Molina with a left-handed batter would have a clean shot at third. So the runners were not going on that 3-2.
Let's see what kind of pitch Ryan gets here again with the count 3-2.
Just got a 3-2 breaking ball.
Got a fastball, lost his bat, missed the ball. And he's down on strikes. They're 2 away.
It's the problem with Ryan when he doesn't get into the going the other way with pitches. They stay away, and that's a fastball away, and he can't get to it.
Hey, Phillies fans, during tonight's Phillies game, don't just watch, play along live online at csnphilly.com. Make predictions, answer trivia, chat with friends, and earn points to win great prizes. Play Friday Night Fever right now by logging on to csnphilly.com. Keyword Fever. So now it's left up to Raul Ibanez. Raul 4 for 13 on this road trip. Tied for 4th in the league in homers and RBIs.
Phillies on this road trip to Arizona, and here San Francisco just been terrible with runners in scoring position, and here they go again with runner in scoring position, but now with 2 outs, and a lot of it's been on account of strikeouts.
Yeah, the Phillies have scored just 2 runs in their last 18 innings, and it's not a whole lot of runs for this club, considering they average about 6 runs per game.
Well, you're in a weekend series with a team that doesn't give up a whole lot of runs for the most part. So you need to do the little things. And of course, last night they did not do that.
See Raul's numbers in scoring position. They've been down of late. Well, in this first inning, the Phillies have certainly worked the count in their favor against Sadowski. A 26-year-old who in his last outing allowed 5 hits and 3 runs over 2 2/3 innings of work. And that curve drops right in for strike 2. It's not a bad hook.
No, he's throwing that behind in the count. Showing the ability to throw it behind in the count here in the first inning.
Raul stays alive as he swats that one foul. Raul, since coming back off the disabled list, hitting .276. He does have 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. And he's trying to pick up an RBI here. See, Sadowski has thrown 22 pitches, more balls than strikes, but he's close to working his way out of this jam. Another foul ball. Charlie wearing that brace on his left wrist still.
Yeah,
it's gotten better, but it's still not where he would want it to be.
Yeah, he had to go to another one because he forgot to pack the brace. So it was bothering him in Arizona. He was trying to get through it, and finally he said, no, I can't stand it. This is really hurting. So he's got a new one.
Again, Raul stays alive. Well, he is really fighting it.
Well, this
again, the count is even 2-2.
Yeah, this guy's throwing a lot of hooks, a lot of slow stuff. Spotting his fastball. There's Bruce Bochy, former major league catcher.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have edged the Cubs 5-2. Jeremy Hermida scored a couple of runs.
They got 3 in the 8th to win that game.
Marlins acquired Nick Johnson today from the Washington Nationals to shore up first base. Breaking ball hit in the air, left center field. Rowan on the run. A lot of room out there. Makes the grab, and the inning is over. Raul Ibanez sent it a pretty good way. 2 runners left on base, and Cliff Lee will go to work for the first time in a Phillies uniform. Well, there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about the Phillies acquiring a frontline starting pitcher, and they did earlier this week when Cliff Lee was acquired from the Cleveland Indians, and he's about to make his Phillies debut. You see the numbers for Cliff with the Indians: 22 starts, 7-9 with a 3.14 ERA. His ERA has been good just about the entire year. Wheels, they just didn't score a whole lot of runs for him.
They sure didn't. There's our scouting report on it from Southwest Airlines. That bottom indication there, that bottom line, is the one that you hope is true, and he comes right out and throws a strike. That's what he considers himself, a strike thrower. And that doesn't mean down the middle of the plate either.
Well, he faces Randy Wynn to start things off, and Wynn is quickly in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Wynn has quite a few at bats against him and has not been that successful. Wynn was in the American League for a number of years with Seattle.
See, 2 for 19 against him.
And the Rays.
On the inside corner, called strike 3. Well, if he's a strike thrower, that's a great indication of what kind of strikes he's going to throw.
Fastball in, fastball away, fastball in, go back to the dugout.
Well, here is the starting lineup for Bruce Bochy. After Wynn, it's Velez, the left fielder. Pablo Sandoval, the third baseman, hits third. Benji Molina, the catcher, bats cleanup. Ryan Garco's at first base, hitting 5th. Aaron Rowan back in the lineup hitting 6, followed by Edgar Renteria, Juan Uribe, and Sadowski against Cliff Lee. Here is Velez, who last night had 3 hits and 5 at-bats. And he takes a pitch on the inside corner. He's been red hot. In fact, he's riding a 6-game hitting streak. He's 12 for 24 during that streak. And the velocity right out of the chute is really good for Cliff Lee.
Well, he's right where you heard he was, you know, in the low 90s, 90, 91, 92. But his pitches are on the corner so far.
Check swing, slow roller. Nice play by Lee. 2 away.
A little athleticism there, huh? Boy, he got on that in a hurry.
He sure did. Well, he's a good sized guy, 6'3", 190 pounds. He won't be 31 until later on this year. He is out of Benton, Arkansas, and he's a Razorback.
See right there, it's a check swing and quickly on it. And no bar of soap over there to first. Fired it. Doesn't sound like that big a deal, but sometimes you'll see a pitcher throw to first, you know, they'll kind of goose it over there and you go, uh-oh. He doesn't like to throw to first.
Yeah, he looks like he's an intense guy, too.
Oh, he is.
There's Pablo Sandoval, and the Phillies had trouble with him last night.
I was talking to him yesterday. You know, he would alternate between being very personable and then very intense.
Well, he's facing a guy who is second in the National League in batting at .331 behind Hanley Ramirez. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to Sandoval. Switch hitter. He found himself on his knees after that pitch.
Yeah, he does a little pitch inside. Now, he hasn't thrown any changeups yet. You know, he's been throwing fastballs, some cutters. You know, he's sitting in that dugout last night watching Sandoval get some really comfortable swings, so he's trying to make him a little uncomfortable.
Chopper back to the mound, and it's going to be an easy first inning for Cliff Lee. First changeup of the inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Giants. We head to the second in a scoreless game. Well, back here at AT&T Park, I want to invite you, if you can't get to your television and watch your Phillies, then log on to MLB.tv. 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. Just log on to Phillies.com. Jason Worth leads things off here in the top of the second inning. He takes a pitch outside. We've been watching MLB.tv for most of the night, watching the Dodgers game against the Braves, and the Marlins game against the Cubs. Just trying to keep tabs on what's going on.
We had that 4-bagger going at once here for a while. The Mosaic,
yeah.
Right, with 4 games at once. That was fun.
There's Jason Worth, who is just 2 for 15 on this road trip. And he's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike.
2 opposites so far. Lee came right out and threw a lot of strikes in the first inning, and Sadowski struggled, but they let him off the hook.
That one's in the air to left center field. That's a towering shot deep into the alleyway. Rowan back to the fence, and it is gone. The way he climbed that wall, I thought he had a chance for it. Man, that ball carried. 22nd home run of the year for Worth, and the Phillies lead it 1-0.
Aaron Rowan was giving us a little demonstration on the field today about how he climbs walls. Well, he almost did it again. There it is. It's a slider. And Aaron says what he wants to do is he get to that wall and plant that right foot and leap.
Well, he planted it all right.
And here he goes. Right there, and there he plants it, leaps, just the way he was describing it today, and he almost pulled one back.
Well, Bill Goldman of Levittown, you've just won $100 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Here's another look. See, he knew exactly what he's doing. He wants to plant the right leg and climb the wall, and it just got over the wall.
Well, that'll bring Pedro Feliz to the plate. Phillies fans, in the 2 years that Aaron played in Philadelphia, and Jason Worth obviously knows that too. Boy, that guy was all over the outfield.
I was kidding him today. You know, I said, well, I've been watching you slam yourself into walls all over the league, and that's why he's hurt so much. Here's Jason Worth with that home run, but that's Rowan. He doesn't know any other way to play.
There's ball 4, and Feliz aboard. Second walk issued by Sadowski. Aaron's been bothered by a torn tendon that occurred when he was hit by a pitch from big old Tommy Haas from the Atlanta Braves.
Hansen, yeah.
Tommy Hansen, I'm sorry.
And he was telling us that he got hit he was the first batter leading off the game. Hansen nailed him. He said about the 7th or 8th inning he made a throw, And that's how he tore the tendon in his forearm. He didn't do it by getting hit by the pitch. He did it. His arm swelled up during the game. I said, well, why didn't you leave the game? And he looked at me like, well, you think I'm going to leave a game? And that's how he hurt it. And he says he feels well enough to play tonight.
Well, they thought that he would be out at least till tomorrow, if not Sunday. And Bruce Bochy's happy to have him in there because Andres Torres hurt his hamstring in last night's game. Here's Paul Bacco, takes a fastball inside. Bacco's batting average under 190 or under 200, I should say, but he doesn't have a whole lot of at bats. Just 41 in a Phillies uniform. Yeah, the count 1-1.
Cliff Lee taking some healthy hacks in that on deck circle. Probably look a little different when he gets up there. He says he's looking forward to this though, to being able to
every pitcher looks forward
contribute.
To
yeah, well, some of them don't like it. I was surprised at his answer to that because he right away went, oh yeah, I really want to be a National League guy and get a chance to hit.
So the biggest thing is that he wants to be able to bunt.
Right.
So that's the thing that he's going to start working on more and more.
Sure, he has 2 sacrifices this year.
Bacco, slow roller. And he's retired. Up to second goes Pedro. And one away here in the second inning. Put goes 1-3. So Bacco's retired. And here is Cliff Lee. Wheels mentioned he has 2 sacrifices, 1 strikeout this year. Overall, he's 2 for 32, as you see there, with 12 strikeouts for his career. That's with an open stance. Forget about moving Phillies over to third base. It looks like he's up there to try to move him a little farther than that. Sam Perlazzo's hoping he's tested here with Lee. Two 2-0 the count.
Well, this guy's having a lot of trouble throwing strikes. Charlie and Pete McCannon, his bench coach.
Looked like he was swinging at a spot there.
Looked like a pitcher. Phillies pitchers have been pretty good this year, though. You think about it, making contact. Moyer helps himself. Hamels does. Blanton's a good bunter.
2-2 now the count to Lee. There's Joe, who will go tomorrow against Tim Lincecum.
Another Arkansas guy. Blanton and Lee.
And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great name to have. You're from the South, Lee. His son is Jackson. Thinking Jackson Lee. That's pretty good Civil War names.
His son was here at the ballpark yesterday while Dad was making the media tour.
General Jackson, General Lee.
And Lee stays alive. He fouls that one off. And it remains 2-2. Cliff was saying yesterday that his son was excited about the fact that he was coming over to the Phillies because, as an 8-year-old, he understands, the kind of players that the Phillies have and had last year when they won the World Championship.
Yeah, he said he's a baseball fan.
Slow chopper up the first base line. And Ryan Garco retires his former teammate. Phillies over to third. Well, the San Francisco Giants will be in Philadelphia Tuesday, September 1st at 7:05. It'll be the final time the Phillies will see them here in the regular season. Good chance they see them in the postseason, though. It's a 3-game series in Philadelphia. All 3 games are night games. Final week before Labor Day. Take advantage of it. You can log on to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. 2 outs, runner on third. And here's Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy popped out his first time up, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Will's mentioned before, Sadowski wasn't a guy who was even invited to pitch for the Giants during spring training. You see what Jimmy has done with runners in scoring position. In fact, when he was called up, there were a lot of folks that were surprised because he wasn't on the radar as a top prospect. Gets Jimmy the ground one towards second. Uribe bobbles it. And J-Roll's retired to finish off this inning. Jason Worth, though, gives the Phillies a 1-0 lead with a towering home run, his 22nd of the year, as we go to the bottom of the second. Home half of the second inning, the Phillies lead it 1-0 as Cliff Lee goes back to work here against the Giants. And it's time now for our Geico quote of the day. It comes from Cliff Lee on pitching for the Phillies. I try to look at things as simple as possible. This is an opportunity for me to help a team that is already successful. This is already an unbelievable team. I just have to throw strikes and give us a chance to win every time I pitch. It's still baseball. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. Bottom of the second, Benji Molina is the batter. And there's a pitch that just missed. Molina riding a 4-game hitting streak, hitting .262 overall. He was 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. He has faced Cliff Lee before. He's 1 for 6 against him. That's your prototypical cleanup batter, but when you're the Giants and your team batting average is .258, well, you'll take a guy that can hit the long ball, any guy, and bat him cleanup, and that's exactly what they've done with Molina.
One problem is if your catcher is a cleanup hitter, you know, you have to sit him once in a while, or they wear down a little bit too. So you normally don't want your catcher to be your 4-hole hitter.
That one's in the air to left center field. Francisco closes nicely in the gap and makes the grab. Looks like the wind carried that a little bit farther than he thought.
That's exactly right. This place is very, very difficult for fly balls. Looked like a changeup and hit off the end of the bat a little bit, but it kept carrying. You see he's yelling, I got it, I got it, I got it the whole way. We've already seen a couple balls fly that way. Worst home run, and Ibanez's ball to left center, so there's a little bit of a jet stream out there, it would appear.
And Francisco is playing center field for the injured Shane Victorino, whose knee is smaller today, but it's still swollen pretty good. And man, Garco just rang the doorbell down the left field line with a shot that he smoked.
Well, Garco is, as you mentioned, they're former teammates, Garco and Lee, so he probably had his idea, if I ever get the hit off this guy, what I'm going to do. And he got out front of a breaking ball.
0-2 the count. And scatters his teammates.
Yeah, Lee's decided he's going to throw him sliders down and in. So he must figure he's pretty aggressive.
Well, Garco was probably sitting at first base all those games with the Indians, watching Lee pitch and saying, all right, this is how I'm going to swing against him if I ever face him. And Lee's probably sitting in the dugout watching Garco at the plate saying, you know, if I ever faced him, this is what I'm going to do.
That's what guys do.
Change up low, and it's 1-2.
Unusual to see a guy actually off the end of the bat in today's game. That just looks so strange.
A guy that's a home run hitter.
Yeah, because everybody's down on the end buggy whipping nowadays. Even the jockeys, even the smallest guys in the game, you know, are buggy whipping all the time. It's just the way the game's changed. So it really looks different to see space like that.
Another change up, hit foul. And the count holds 2-2. Tim Flannery will pick it up and flip it into the crowd. Garco with the Indians was hitting .285 with 11 home runs and 39 RBIs. He's a Stanford guy. He's from California. In fact, he was a high school teammate of Ben Francisco, who was in center field for the Phillies. So he went to Stanford, and Francisco went on to a junior college before going to UCLA. Man, he is fighting one after another off against his former teammate.
Yeah, Lee had it pretty easy for the first few hitters, and he's trying everything with him. He's trying to change his eye level. He's throwing him sliders. And he just can't get him to make it out.
Well, he threw 9 pitches in the first inning overall. This is the 8th pitch of this at bat, and he's going to need at least 9 to get him.
See him throw another high fastball there, and that time he took it. Boy, he's really getting foggy all of a sudden.
Pitch number 9 in this at bat, and it's foul number 6. And he's on him.
Right, you know, he knows him a little bit. You know, it's always interesting to see guys go after each other, teammates, and these guys are very recent teammates.
He fouls another one off.
It was a high breaking ball.
Mentioned Garco is just 1 for 10. You saw that graphic since the trade. And this will be pitch number 11 now of this at bat. And another foul ball. That's 8 foul balls by Garco.
They just shook his head just then, like, come on.
He's thrown his entire repertoire at him.
Fastball.
And it's ball 4. So Garco draws the 1-out walk. First walk issued by Cliff Lee. He doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. In fact, in 152 innings with the Indians, he walked only 33. 8th in the league in least amount of walks in the American League. And here's Aaron Rowand. So 9 pitches in the first inning overall for Cliff Lee, and Garco saw 11 pitches.
And he just kept fouling them off.
And the Phillies now play a double play depth, and they count 1-0 to Rowand. Rowand, as you saw, played those 2 years for the Phillies, and he was productive, particularly his second year when he hit .309 and hit 27 home runs. And he lines that one on one hop to Utley to second for one, and that's an easy double play. And Lee is out of the second inning. A lot of pitches to get Garco, not so many to get Aaron Rowand. We've played 2. Phillies lead it 1-0. Time now for the Dodge Stuff the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. This is a tough one. Here is the question. Who are the 4 rookies of the year for the San Francisco Giants? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
I'm not going to get shut out, but I don't know if they can get all 4.
Ben Francisco leads things off and takes a strike here in the top of the 3rd. Get partial credit wheels every time you get a correct answer. Francisco sends one in the air to left field. It's deep. Going back is Velez to the warning track, and the wind takes it to his left, but he's able to track it down. Well, he's an infielder making the transition to the outfield, and that'll speed up the transition.
That was exciting. Well, there are easier places to learn to play the outfield than this ballpark, and you know, he's out there working with Aaron Rowand. They haven't played together. Rowand's been hurt. Velez is an infielder. He took a peek at Rowand, and that's normally fatal. That late to take the look, because normally when you look back up, you're not going to catch it. And Francisco thought he had, well, maybe even a home run. Hit that ball in Philadelphia, you'll be running around the bases.
Chase walked his first time up. One of 2 walks issued by Sadowski.
Phillies could have 3 tonight.
Yeah, they could.
But this is huge, this ballpark. Rowand was telling us before the game he keeps a running total of how many home runs he's lost in this park. And it was really funny to hear him say how many. I think it was somewhere around 27, he figures, last year and this year, because of how deep it is and the way it doesn't carry. And he's an alleys hitter.
404 to left center field, 421 to triple alley in right center field. That one's in on the hands, and Chase is going to have a base hit. A 1-out looping single. Chase will take that, and he's aboard here at the top of the 3rd. Ryan went down on strikes his first time up. Sadowski, as we've mentioned, has been in the minor leagues since he signed in 2003 for the Giants. In fact, there was a point this year that there was a team from Japan that had shown interest in him, and there was a pretty good chance he was going to go over there, but the Giants decided not to sell his rights. They kept him, And as they say, it's worked out for both.
Yeah.
See his minor league record. 6 games over 500 and a 4.61 ERA. That ball got away from Molina, and Chase is going to find his way up to second base.
That was kind of hard to tell to the naked eye. I think they may have to wait for a replay before they can score that. Here it is. Hit the ground. That's a wild pitch.
So the second wild pitch for Sadowski. And the Phillies have a runner in scoring position yet again here in this ball game. And it's 3-0 to Ryan. Oli Banez waits on deck.
The ball kind of hit home plate on Molina and skidded, and that's why he wasn't able to do it. He came up too quickly.
Ryan got the green light, and it's 3-1. Phillies were out yesterday, and Charlie was out here watching his team take some extra BP. Not as much today. And there's ball 4, and the Phillies have 2 runners on with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Hey, if you like the movies, then the Phillies have an offer for you. It's the 3rd Phillies night at the movies. This one will be Wednesday, August 12th at the Bala Theater in Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania. Watch the 8:05 game between the Phillies and the Cubs. That game will be in Chicago, and game type atmosphere. The Fanatic will be there. Tickets cost $12. There are limited quantities available, and you can order now by logging on to Phillies.com. And we understand the first 2 movie nights were outstanding. Ibanez, a liner to second. There's one. Unfortunately, Uribe could not get the ball out of his glove, and Chase was able to scamper back to second base. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, it's kind of a humpback liner. Right there, he didn't hit it very hard, and Utley was off the bag. And there, as Tom says, Uribe cannot get the ball out of the glove, so no double play, and they stay alive, give Worth a shot.
Well, Jason homered his first time up. 22nd home run of the year, 64 RBIs.
Here it is in the second inning. Jason Worth, a slider out over the plate a little bit, and got it way up in the air. Aaron Rowan tried to pull it back and almost did.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he can jump. He likes that stuff. He made a tremendous play for the second out of Sanchez's no-hitter against the Padres, and he was talking about that. He said he didn't even realize the importance of it. He said after he threw the ball back in, he went, oh man, there's only 1 more out to go for a no-hitter.
Yep.
And then I was kidding him about Dwayne Wise's blew that catch away. He said, oh yeah, that's not even close to what I did.
Yeah, Dwayne Wise preserved Mark Burley's perfect game about a week or so ago. And then Wise came back and had a big base hit in last night's game for the Chicago White Sox in their victory over the Yankees. Well, that's the part of the storyline for the Phillies lately. 3 hits in their last 43 at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they're fortunate to have won a couple games.
That's why they only have 3 runs in their last 21 innings of work. Two and 2 the count to Jason. .62 pitches for Sadowski. Pop up right side. Garco makes the call. And the Phillies so far in the first 3 innings have stranded 5 runners, including 3 in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Phillies lead it by 1.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Dodge. Live strong. Live bold. Live now. Dodge. Grab life. Last of the third inning here in San Francisco. Phillies lead at 1-0 thanks to a Jason Worth home run. Edgar Renteria will lead things off for San Francisco against Cliff Lee. Renteria was 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. He had been struggling up until the start of that ball game. He also scored a run, helping the Giants to their 4th consecutive victory. And Wheels, I understand Friday night, that's why there's a lot of sailboats out in the bay. Broken bat roller, skips off the mound. J-Roll has it, and 1 out.
Yeah, there were a lot of boats out there, sailboats earlier. There's still a lot of them. There you see it.
Almost looked like a regatta.
It's cold out there. I believe people are out in boats.
You like the cold weather, though.
Hate it.
You do?
Oh,
I didn't know that after all these years.
Can't imagine being out in a boat in this stuff.
You don't like the cold weather, but with these temperatures hovering in the 50s, you had a big old Giardelli ice cream sundae earlier.
Yeah, but it was inside.
That's true. Here's Uribe. Uribe 10 for 35 against Cliff Lee. When you play for the White Sox, as Uribe used to, you're going to play the Indians a lot, so you're going to face Cliff Lee. 0-2 the count to him.
He just keeps dealing strikes out there. Even with that long at bat by Garco, he kept throwing strikes, or Garco kept swinging. He looks like he likes to elevate pitches with 2 strikes. Intentional. You know, we talk about Happ doing that, and Cole Hamels did a great job with that the other night in Arizona.
This guy
works fast.
Yeah, it works fast. Last year, 22 wins. First Indian since Gaylord Perry back in 1972 to lead the league in victories. That's pretty good company. Roller left side. And Jimmy has time and throws Uribe out. And 2 away here in the 3rd. Tomorrow on Sports Rise, get complete Phil's Giants highlights, plus hear from Cliff Lee on his debut, and we'll show you how Pedro Martinez fared and what could be his final rehab appearance. Plus, Derek Gunn reports on the first day of hitting for the Eagles at Lehigh. Tomorrow morning on Sports Rise, only on Comcast Sportsnet. You see Pedro's line tonight for the Iron Pigs against Carlos Carrasco and the Columbus Clippers. 5 innings, 4 earned runs. He gave up 5 overall. And 4 of those runs scored in his final inning of work. According to reports, he topped out at 93 miles an hour with his fastball. And he allowed a home run on the 2nd pitch he threw in tonight's ballgame to Michael Brantley of the Columbus Clippers. And it wasn't until the 5th inning that he struggled.
Yeah, when everybody asks about what's going to happen with Pedro Martinez, who knows? He just goes and pitches a little bit in the minor leagues, and they get a feel.
Well, Sadowski's down on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Giants here in the bottom of the 3rd. Cliff Lee is through 3. He's got a 1-0 lead. Oh, and Cliff Lee was with the Cleveland Indians. His team would not really support him offensively. In fact, he received the league's 8th worst run support. The Indians averaged 4.5 runs per game for him on average. Well, tonight's ball game, the Phillies have stranded 5 so far, but they have a 1-0 lead thanks to that guy, Jason Worth. And Sarge, I'll get your impressions of Cliff Lee so far.
Oh, it looks good. He's throwing first pitch strikes, comes in on the batters there, and you know, he likes his demeanor more than anything else there for me.
That. Yeah,
well, I mean, and he does. You can look at that right away. He hides the ball a little bit, and it jumps on you quick. And that can present a problem for the hitters. You
know, Sarge was in the booth in the 1st inning when Pablo Sandoval moved his feet when Cliff Lee got him to dance a little bit. You like that, didn't you?
Well, you got to. This guy here is a free swinger. The way he's been swinging, just give him something else to think about other than just swinging the bat.
Well, Cliff Lee is going to get a chance to swing the bat himself here in this 4th inning. It'll be Feliz, Baco, and Lee.
And Pedro takes one down and away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sarge, he's putting some rosin, some pine tar on that bat, so he's trying to play the part the best way he can.
He'll get used to it, though.
They appeal, no swing, says James Hoy, and it's 2-1. Pedro has really struggled on this road trip. He's 1 for 12. And this was after he was swinging the bat pretty well in the last homestand. He's going to be 1 for 13.
Yeah, he's gotten long with his swing, and if you take a look at that one, that swing was a little long. It's a lot better when he's short, compact to the ball, and remember, he's been hitting a lot of balls up the middle into the opposite field.
Now, when you say long swing, you basically mean that he takes too long to get to the ball?
Well, in a long swing, when you're going toward the ball, that bat is almost like you're just swinging too hard, so it gets long on you, as opposed to waiting back and then you're short and quick. A lot of times when you're long, you're going to have quick feet. You have slow feet, your hands will be able to come right through the ball. Slow feet, you're going to have quick hands. Fast feet, your hands are going to be slow.
2-0 the count to Paul Bacco, who grounded out his first time up. Make it 3-0. 3-2 the count to Bacco. Sadowski's a kid who, after he finished his first year of professional baseball, as Lee waits on deck, he had been experiencing headaches and dizziness while he was on the mound during the course of his first professional season in 2003. And he didn't know why. Bacco swings and misses at that pitch. Second out here in the 4th inning. Anyway, after the season came to a close, his mom and dad talked him into going to see a specialist down in Florida, a neurosurgeon, who diagnosed a hemorrhage on the brain. And he had a pool of blood that was filling 1/6 of his brain. So he had to have his skull drilled. They had to ease the pressure on his brain, and he was able to make a comeback. But you see that hat that he's wearing, Sarge? It's kind of an oversized hat, because underneath that there's a plastic shield, almost like a small helmet, that he wears to protect his skull just in case there's a line drive hit back to the box.
Yeah, that's what Willie Mays used to wear all the time. It was exactly that, a skull cap underneath that fit over the hat.
Cliff Lee, a base hit to left center field. It's only his 3rd major league hit, and he's aboard with 2 away. Hit that pretty hard.
Yeah, he did, going the other way. He seems to be pretty good athlete. That's pretty good little stance. He's open, and that ball on the inside, last place you want to throw the ball when a hitter is open like that. He continues to stay open, line drive right over Renteria's head. You see him jumping up, and it gets right over the glove there. All smiles.
That's because he and Garco, former teammates, sharing a laugh over at first. There's Jimmy as that pitch is in the dirt.
I see him all smiles, telling him that's how you do it.
I think he said to Garco, you know, I have as many hits in the National League as you have now. That's not nice.
Well, it's true.
Do you ask for the ball, Sarge, when you get your first hit in another league?
Well, I mean, we've seen that before, but I guess because he does have hits, that it would have to have been against the National League club. So that would have been his first hit. Just can't keep going around collecting balls all the time.
It would only be 3, though.
Well, I'm thinking you only want to ask for the first one, and then once you get to another milestone, let's see what happens here. But that's quite an achievement, too.
All right, when he gets to 10, he'll ask for another baseball. That one's at the knees for a strike to Jimmy.
Yeah. borderline low. Jimmy's been coming off the ball some.
Jimmy's 0 for 2 tonight. He's popped out and grounded out. He's just 4 for 20 on this road trip. He tried to hold up. He was more getting out of the way of that one, but the bat went right through the strike zone.
Yeah, trying to cheat on a fastball. That was a slide piece that was down and in. That's why you can see that pitch there. He's already set and out of there. You can see how he turned his hip, his inside hips there, thinking it was a fastball in.
Well, Lee goes, and the pitch is a call. Strike 3. Jimmy looked like he was looking outside for that pitch, but it came on the inside part of the plate. Phillies have stranded 6 through the first 4 innings. They're still hanging on to a 1-run lead. Oh, the Phillies lead it 1-0 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Rich Doobie, the Phillies pitching coach, joined us in between innings. And we asked Doobs about that swing that Cliff Lee just had.
Real good swing. He's an athletic guy, so that's impressive to see.
Doobs, I'm looking at his hands. He looks like he has big hands out there. Is there an advantage of a pitcher having large hands throwing the ball, or does it really matter?
No, it's all in comfort, really. I mean, you look at Pedro Martinez. He's got small hands, but he's able to manipulate the ball and make the ball do what it wants to do. And you know, this guy here, he works fast and he pounds that strike zone. He's fun to watch.
Well, he has that cutter that he throws. What would you say was his best pitch?
Well, I don't know. I haven't not seen him much. I think he's got 4 or 5 good ones. He also throws a true slider, a good curveball, and a changeup. So he's got a lot of weapons to use. And again, he throws a ton of strikes.
Dude, what's the conversations like when somebody new comes over from another team?
I just want him to be himself. I don't know that much about him, and I'm just going to watch him pitch to his strength and see what we got. And we know we got a good one here, and we expect a lot out of him.
Rich, thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Well, one thing that the Phillies do know, and Rich Doobie now knows after watching Cliff Lee through the first 3 innings, he does throw strikes. In fact, he has thrown first pitch strikes to 6 of the 10 batters that he has faced in this ball game so far. Wind sends one in the air to center field. Francisco battling that wind. And he makes the catch. 1 away. So 1 out, and Velez is the batter. Velez grounded back to the mound his first time up, and I think that's where we saw the athleticism of Cliff Lee, as Merkin Valdez is up and loosening in the pen for the Giants. That's partly because Sadowski's thrown a lot of pitches so far. And Velez out in front of that off-speed pitch, and the count is 0-1.
Yeah, that's why you want to try and take advantage of those type of pitchers that are in there. Again, nothing really superior. He's had a fastball, a little bit of a slider that came in, but they've had opportunities to get more runs off of him.
0-2 the count to Velez. Cliff Lee broke into the big leagues in a big way in 2004 with the Indians. He had 161 strikeouts this year and also had 14 wins. He followed it up in 2005 with 18 wins for the Indians, and he finished 4th in the Cy Young Award race. Indians thought that they had a frontline pitcher to complement CC Sabathia, as Lee gets a strikeout for the 2nd out here in the 4th inning. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Ford Fusion Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient midsize. Drive one today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW. And by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. 2 away, and here's Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval grounded back to the mound his first time up, and he lines that one foul.
Well, he goes up there hacking when he leaves the dugout. Said he talks to Willie McCovey quite a bit. Willie gives him different secrets, different things to be able to look at. He really does count on that. Talks with Mays too. Mays not around as much, with McCovey here almost every home game.
Sandoval hit one into McCovey Cove last night, a home run, and he said it didn't dawn on him until he watched the highlight of it going into McCovey Cove, and they showed Willie McCovey on the video board that it was the 50th anniversary of Willie's first game in the big leagues, and he said it was a huge honor that he would hit a ball into McCovey Cove. As he loops that one to straightaway center field, Francisco coming in. It was knuckling from left to right, makes the grab, and the inning is over. Lee has faced the minimum through the first 4. McCovey, even though he's a hitter, must like what he sees. Hey, Tuesday, September 15th, if you're looking to come to the ballpark, well, there are tickets available for the Phillies and the Washington Nationals. All 3 games are 7:05 starts, 15th, 16th, and 17th. You can log on to Phillies.com to make your purchase today. Merkin Valdez, the new pitcher for the Giants. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ryan Sadowski, but he has worked in and out of trouble the whole night. And he's thrown 82 pitches, so Bruce Bochy figures, you know what, it's only a 1-0 game. Let me get somebody else in there, get a fresh arm out there, and that's why Valdez is here to pitch in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that bullpen has been pretty good here over the last 9 games or so.
Francisco 0 for 2. He's reached on an error, and he's flied out to deep left center field. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. There's Bruce Bochy in his 3rd year as the skipper of the Giants after a fairly successful run in San Diego, where he went to the postseason with the Padres 4 different times, won 4 different National League West titles. Line drive toward left field. I don't think Velez is going to get that one. He won't. It's off the top of the wall, and it shoots to his left, and Francisco finally has a base hit. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times he's been up there tonight.
Well, that's what you want to do. Hit the ball hard, showing that you have a real good foundation. He was pretty short and quick to the ball. Last time he hit a slider pretty long ways. Now that's short and quick to the ball. As that ball out over the plate, drills that left field wall. Just about an automatic double for any player.
Well, now the Phillies have the leadoff batter in scoring position for Chase Utley. Chase has got a base hit and a walk so far in this game. His average up to 307. Sarge, the Phillies have got to cash in with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, well, if Chase makes it out, he wants to make sure it's on the right side where you get that runner over the 3rd base. And they've been struggling with runners in scoring position.
Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, a lot of times hitters will try and do maybe a little bit too much with runners in scoring position, and I've always thought that the pressure was on the pitcher, especially when you have guys on base or on 3rd base. He's the one that's got to make a good pitch. And a lot of times, and in the cases with the Phillies, they've been getting themselves out as opposed to the pitcher getting them out.
Molina keeps it in front, 2-1 the count. Francisco stays at 2nd base. Sarge, is that a learned approach, or is that something that you're is it something that you're born with as a baseball player, or is it something that you learn as your career goes on?
You actually learn that, where you want to put the ball in play. Talking with Albert Pujols about that, he'll take a ground out for an RBI anytime.
Phillies are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Three and 1 the count to Chase.
Well, you have that runner in scoring position, especially if a guy can't throw it by you. It's almost like a free at bat. You should be able to put that bat on the ball, even if it's just a ground ball.
You see Valdez has given up a lot of runs. Runners in scoring position, the opposition hitting .406 against him. Ryan Howard waits on deck. In the air, down the left field line. Velez has a long run, and awkwardly he gets there. And that's not what Chase wanted to do, and he'll be the first one to tell you that.
No, especially with that count, 3-1. You know, and you have the option of maybe taking the pitch and still pressure on the pitcher to get a pitch that you can pull to the opposite side. Obviously, he's not happy, about that. He takes a lot of pride in his game.
Well, now it's going to be left to Ryan Howard with one away here in the 5th inning. Ryan has struck out and he's walked in this game. His 78 RBIs, third most in the National League. And he takes a fastball for strike one.
Well, that's the fastest or hardest pitch that he's thrown. 96 in a pretty good spot.
See the splits for Ryan. That batting average against lefties is very surprising, but they have thrown him one breaking ball after another.
Yeah.
He should feast on a guy like Valdez, though. Little cheese. That's power against power right there. It's 0-2.
Yeah, had that in a good spot. Kind of up and in. That ball up above the belt. Let's check this pitch out. See where it goes there. Very hittable as that ball moves away, but the velocity on that ball has a lot to do with hitters being able to catch up to it, put wood on it. They try and do to Howard, get ahead and get him to swing at a bad pitch, more or less the breaking ball.
Called strike three. Well, we talked about it before. Today's Green Fact about Citizens Bank Park is brought to you by the Green Sense program at Citizens Bank. In 2008, the Phillies became the first major league team to join the EPA's Green Power partnership by using green power on game days. With Green Sense at Citizens Bank, get paid 10 cents every time you pay without paper. Up to $120 per year. Visit citizensbank.com/greensense for details. Bottom of the 5th inning, Phillies lead at 1-0, and SARS, the fog is really rolling in now here in San Francisco. As Benji Molina sends one in the air to straightaway center field. Ben Francisco's been very busy out there. And there's one away.
Yeah, that's a good thing, though, Tom, is get him to hit the ball to the deepest part.
Absolutely.
Of the field.
Yeah, Francisco's made 4 putouts out in center, and a few of them have been fairly deep.
Yep.
One was in, and he's navigated that, all that real estate pretty well tonight. Here's Ryan Garco. He has had the best at bat out of anybody for the Giants so far. He starts him off with what looked like a cutter, and the count is 0-1.
Yeah, I think that though might have been, looked like it moved like it was a slider
okay.
breaking ball, but with them being teammates, he knows what he throws.
There's a curve outside.
Yep.
Good change up. So we've seen 3 different pitches from Lee in this at bat.
Yeah, well, Dubes talked about the 4 pitches that he had: the curveball, slider, change up, and fastball. It should have a lot of luck with that number that he has.
I was wondering when that was going to come up.
What do you mean?
Number 34.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with chicken, and you can't go wrong with number 34, right, Sarge?
Just a lovely number. It's good to see that number out there, to tell you the truth.
See the dispersion of outs, and that's going to be another ground out right there. It'll be the 7th of the game. And there's 2 away here in the 5th inning. Cliff Lee wore number 34 when he first came up with the Indians, then switched to 31. And since Rodrigo Lopez wears 31 for the Phillies, he decided to go back to 34. And you see the number of pitches he's thrown with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. He's thrown just 13 balls and 39 strikes.
He does hide the ball well. He comes over the top, does make it hard. You see the glove coming, then the arm coming. has good rotation on his breaking balls, and has a sharp break, not one of the slurs there that you see, and hitters are able to pick it up a little better, have a better swing on it.
The other thing too, he works quickly.
And well, fielders like that.
Line drive to right field. Worth started in. Now he has to head back, and the inning is over. 2 flyouts and a ground out, and Cliff Lee again has faced the minimum through the first 5 innings. We go to the 6th. Our Independence Blue Cross Phillies of the week are the bullpen. Out of the pen and into the fire on a nightly basis, the men in relief enter the game with little margin for error. On call at all times, the relief corps is a unit that throws everything they have for 1 inning or sometimes even 1 batter. All season long, this unit has been putting an end to rallies and putting out fires. And it is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Oh, we start at the top of the 6th inning. Jason Worth is the difference in this game so far. Offensively, the real difference in this game has been Cliff Lee. And Lee, who has been unbelievable in his debut in a Phillies uniform, has just that 1-run lead thanks to the guy that's at the plate on a home run back in the 2nd. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Jason.
Yeah, they probably keep Jason more honest than just about any player on the team, maybe besides Utley, who gets hit the most, but they throw a lot of pitches up and in to Jason Worth to get him off the plate. Then they'll throw breaking balls away and fastballs.
Pulls that one towards shortstop, knocked down by Renteria. Nice play by Garco to scoop it up over at first. And 1 out.
Well, it seems like Renteria has just been playing forever. Came in as a young player.
Well, he's one of 6 shortstops in baseball history to pick up his 2000th hit by the time he was 32 years of age, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He's going to have surgery after this year comes to a close. He has a bone spur that's really been bothering him. And you see that wrap that he has on his right elbow. Giants were kind of surprised when he told people, yeah, I need surgery at the end of this year, but he's able to play and play through it. Pedro Feliz 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. And a fly ball down the right field line. Win a long run. Garco 2. Win coming on. He's not going to get there. He's able to keep that ball around him, so Feliz has to hold up at first.
Feliz there hitting that ball all the way up there, but that was a long way for Wynn to come. They do play deep. You can see how far he's coming, and the ball hits. He does a good job, however, being able to hit the ball and make it stay right there. Feliz could not advance.
Baco is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and he is struck out. Phillies have had a lot of base runners tonight. Slow roller to first. Garco looks at second. He'll take the sure out then. And the Phillies with another runner in scoring position. Hey, the Houston Astros will be in Philadelphia very late this year. In fact, it'll be Monday, September 28th for the start of a 4-game series. That night, it's the final Hatfield Dollar Dog Night of the year. You can log on to Phillies.com. Make your purchase now. Hey, listen, late in the year, Phillies are going for their 3rd straight divisional crown. Those games very late in the year have been very important for this ball club over the last couple of seasons. Cliff Lee's got a base hit and 2 at-bats. And he takes a strike in the count 0-1.
It's a good fastball at 96.
Off the end of the bat, a flare down the left field line. Velez closes and makes the grab, and the inning is over. Phillies thought maybe they had bought a base hit and possibly a run. They're now 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. by McDonald's, introducing new Angus burgers made with juicy 100% Angus beef, available with premium toppings in 3 varieties for just $3.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Well, it has been game on tonight for Cliff Lee. He's got a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The only base runner he's allowed was a walk to Ryan Garko in the 2nd inning. But Garko was erased on a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Aaron Rowans. So Lee has been as good as you can be tonight. It's unfortunate for him that his offense is 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So he's nursing a 1-run lead. Here's Edgar Renteria, who grounded to shortstop his first time up. And he takes one inside. Just looking at some of the numbers surrounding Cliff Lee. Over the last 2 years, only Roy Halladay has won more games. Halladay has won 32. Lee has won 29. In fact, he and Tim Lincecum are tied for the most victories dating back to last year. And you see the career winning percentage, active leaders. Lee is among the top 10.
Yeah, he's been a good pitcher in that American League there for a while, learning how to pitch. He throws a breaking ball there, slide piece. Again, it's usually a fastball count. Veteran pitchers are able to get their sliders over the plate, behind in the count.
Brandon Metters up and loosening for the Giants as the count is 2-2. And Sarge, this was the first time tonight that Lee has run the count to 2-0 to a batter. That's why his pitch count is so low.
Yeah.
But it's back even 2-2 to Renteria.
Boy, I tell you, he gets ready to throw. Want that hitter in the box and let's go. Almost surprised though the hitters aren't maybe stepping out on him, but they get caught up in the moment trying to drive the ball.
Lee, who started the All-Star game last year at Yankee Stadium. Look at those pitches per inning. I mean, he 18 in the 2nd. That's because Garko's at bat. But other than that, he has been spot on. And a called strike 3. I don't know what Renteria was looking at, but that was a really good pitch.
Yeah, Renteria thinking that that ball is low. Again, that's what you'll say is a pitcher's pitch. Right there on the black, low to the knees. It's exactly where this pitch is. It caught plate. Caught plate, could be a little bit low, but 3-2, you got to be swinging the bat, especially when it comes out over the plate.
Here's Juan Uribe, and he swings at the first pitch, slices it down the right field line. Fair foul, fair ball. First hit of the night, Uribe heading to 2nd. Oh boy, I thought that ball was going to slice foul.
That looked like it was going to slice foul. That ball started going foul and actually kind of stayed right there as it bounced. Well, in plenty of fair territory. Wasn't like it was on the line. This is a good pitch, you know, and you can see, take a look at his reaction as that ball, he's trying to twist it foul as he goes to third base where the pitcher's supposed to go. Ball bounces up where it gets it back in.
Not a whole lot of room down there in the right field corner. Some of the pitchers from the bullpen are housed out there. Here's Jesus Guzman, who's going to pinch hit for the Giants. And he takes one a little high. Guzman left AAA a few days ago, where he had a 26-game hitting streak that's still intact if he goes back down. 2 for 14 as a big leaguer. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, usually when you're hot, they bring you up from the minor leagues. They put you in there every day, you know, where you can play. Try and ride you right on out.
Well, this guy was hitting .336 at AAA. 12 home runs and 59 runs batted in.
Yeah, when you look at the way that he bats, he'll have his bottom hand and that top hand, he'll have that his fingers, usually you just have them kind of side by side. You can see he has his fingers where it's overlapping that bottom hand there.
It's like a golf swing.
And that's just because he feels more comfortable and has gotten used to that.
That's kind of goofy, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you know what? Seen some other hitters that have done that. You can see right there when he brings that bat up. You see how he has that finger there. That's a strike. 3.
Well, it doesn't matter how you grip the bat. Pitch like that, if you're going to take it, you're going to be rung up. Second out of the inning.
Boy, Lee just freezes him right here. There's a fastball. You know, I just don't understand when hitters take pitches like that and almost back it up, catch plenty of the plate. Tells me that they're looking for something usually they can't hit, like a breaking ball.
So 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Here's Randy Wynn. He's 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied out. And he takes one inside. First time tonight that Lee is pitching with a runner in scoring position.
But he made a good pitch on Uribe. He just fought that ball off on the inside. He inside out at that ball.
Broke his bat. Slow roller right side. And Utley takes care of Wynn. And the Giants strand one in scoring position. Cliff Lee's allowed his first hit. He still leads it 1-0 as we go to the 7th.
Well, good ball game here tonight. 1-0 through 6 innings. We look at our AT&T from AT&T Park, our Verizon game summary. And what a job tonight by Cliff Lee. What do you say? 6 innings, and he's even got a base hit in the game, and he was pitching a no-hitter until last inning. And the Phillies, once again, Tommy, are really struggling with runners in scoring position, or you know, they could have 3 or 4 runs for him.
Wheels 0 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. The Phillies are now 1 for their last 38 with runners in scoring position. I mean, that's unbelievable for this team. And you figure they've got to be due. Brandon Metters, the new pitcher, 40th game, 2-1, a 2.38 ERA. Facing Jimmy Rollins, who's 0 for 3, and the count 3-0 to Jimmy.
And Jimmy had a poor at bat his last time up, swung at a 3-1 slider on the ground, and then took strike 3 called on a fastball.
Ball 4, and the Phillies got a base runner here. 3rd walk issued by Giants pitching. Sadowski started. He went the first 4, and then Bruce Bochy decided to go to the pen. There's Sadowski in the background. Merkit Valdez went 2, and Cliff Lee. Like he's talking about that ball that Uribe hit.
Well, he saw Uribe enough. We've seen Uribe enough. He inside outs everything to right and right center, and he hit a dunker down the line.
Francisco's hit the ball hard all 3 times he's been up tonight.
Yeah, right now, at least a few games we've seen him, he looks like a dead pull hitter, and they're playing him that way. He's hit everything to the left to second base so far.
There's Jeremy Affeldt loosening up for the Giants. All the lefties getting set to come up for the Phillies.
And Ryan Howard has a grand slam home run off Metters in a game in Arizona. I think it was last year when Ryan didn't play and he came up as a pinch hitter late in that game, hit a slam off Metters. So the odds are they've got Affeldt ready for as you say, Tom, for these left-handed hitters, especially Howard and Utley.
Keeping an eye on Jimmy, who has stolen 20 bases this year. He's been caught 8 times. I figure Francisco's going to wind up playing again tomorrow in center field. Shane Victorino looks like he's going to need at least 1 more day, if not this weekend series, before that knee quiets down. Line drive toward left. And Velez is there. 1 away.
He is a pull hitter.
which isn't a bad thing in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park.
No. No, I mean, he is what he is, and right now, you know, he looks like he opens up and tries to pull everything. You wonder how much coverage he has on sliders, and you know, we'll see as time goes along. But he looks like a young man with some tools.
Well, Chase Utley will get a chance to face the right-hander here instead of Jeremy Affeldt, who continues to loosen up in the bullpen for the Giants. Chase is a base hit. He's walked. He's flied out to left.
He had him going back to first, and Jimmy headed back to first, and whatever he did on the move to the plate.
He stole a base against Benji Molina last night. He has thrown out 8 of his last 9 base runners trying to steal against him.
See what he did there? Just before he threw over, he gave a little flip with his thumb, and that's their throw over sign. And Molina just gave that little flip and then a quick move over, and looks in the dugout, see what they want him to do, if anything. There he goes. He looks over, and whoever's controlling their running game is going to give him signs. And he just put down fastball away.
And it was. And it's 2-0.
Yeah, you can tell a lot of times from the center field camera what they're going to do, but when a runner gets on second, then you're on your own. Unless you can figure out the signs. Now, see him look in. Now Benji Molina likes to tuck that right knee in there to make sure that you can't pick up anything with his signs from first base, either the runner or the first base coach. And he had him going back again.
That's weird that a right-hander would have somebody like Jimmy going back to first base so many times.
Yeah, well, he showed him a quick move over there too, and that can get you back. Also, you know, he showed him that he's going to come over there, and he come over there quick. So they have not figured him out. Davey and Jimmy have not figured matters out.
See the numbers on Molina for his career, or I should say for the season. He has thrown out a good number of base runners during the course of his career. I mean, all 3 Molina brothers could throw. And all 3 of them, Yadier, Jose, and Benji.
And it's footwork for the most part. You know, you have to have a strong arm, obviously, but the footwork is what makes the throwing possible from behind the plate, especially. We'll go take another look in. And fastball away.
Ball 4. The Phillies have 2 runners on. 2 walks in the inning.
That was a really good job by Chase Utley. I think Affeldt will be coming in that to see what up here comes Bochy. What they were trying to do to him was throw it away from him to see if he'd hook one into a double play. And we talked about this grand slam home run. Remember this last year in Arizona? Ryan did not start the game. That was 2 years ago, and hit a grand slam home run as a pinch hitter.
That was a bullet out of the ballpark. Yeah. So Ryan will not face Metters. He'll face the left-hander Jeremy Affeldt. Phillies have 2 runners on, 1 out. Here at the top of the 7th inning, they lead it 1-0 and looking for some more. Well, back here at AT&T Park, Phillies have another runner in scoring position. Runners on first and second with 1 out. And Ryan Howard will get a chance to bat, and he'll do so against a very good left-handed pitcher in Jeremy Affeldt. 45th game, no wins, a loss, a 1.33 ERA. Right-handers are even worse against Affeldt. They have fewer at-bats against him, but lefties, he has held them to a .228 batting average. He's given up just 1 home run.
And this is Bochy's 1 bullet out of the bullpen with a left-handed pitcher. And using it in a big spot here in the 7th inning in a 1-run game.
And Wheels Affeldt has been real good of late. See what Ryan has done against him. In fact, his last time out, he allowed his first run in 28 straight innings.
Wow.
It's the longest run of success for a relief pitcher for the Giants in 40 years. Ryan was backing away, but he takes it inside 2-0.
Yeah, Affeldt wanted that pitch and didn't get it because that just froze Ryan Howard. All he could do is take that. There you see inherited runners, and That's okay. He still has allowed 9 to score.
That's surprising.
Yeah. That takes a little bit of the glow off that he hasn't been scored upon number.
So important for a relief pitcher to, those inherited runners. I mean, there's a carryover. It's not only runs you allow, but runs that you allow to score that were on base when you came in.
Absolutely, so important. I don't know that Ryan Howard swinging well enough for a 3-0 green light, but see if Charlie gives him one. Yeah, you see, they're not just putting down fastball in this situation. There's a little doubt in their mind too, in Benji Molina and Affeld's mind, on whether he's swinging 3-0.
Ryan's numbers not good this year against lefties. The runners go. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to second base, not in time. That was kind of an odd throw by Benji Molina. He knew he couldn't get J-Ro, who got a great jump, and he decided, it looked like at the last moment, to try to get Utley. A double steal. The count is 3-1.
Well, normally the trail guy gets a little later jump, and that's what Molina's thinking right there. But Utley got a pretty good jump. He really followed Jimmy Rollins that time. But the guy on first has to make sure that guy's going to third, so he's normally not going to get as good a jump.
So now the infield comes in on the left side, halfway on the right side. The count 3-1 to Howard. The way things have gone, the Phillies would certainly take a fly ball. Instead, they get a beater off of Ryan's leg. It's full now, 3-2.
And this is where their situation hitting's just been awful lately, and where they just have to get better at it, especially when you're playing in a park like this with these kind of pitchers.
And it hit him. Bases are now loaded with 1 out. Without a hit, the Phillies have loaded up the bases.
3-2 breaking ball, and boy, that had no chance to be a strike, and then it hits him right in the back, it looked like. Here's the pitch sequence too, Ryan, as he ran that deep count. Starts him with a breaking ball in. That's a pitch that just hit him. There's a breaking ball low, fastball low. Then with the runners going, a called strike on a fastball. 3-1, another fastball. He beats off his foot, and here's that breaking ball, and it hits him.
Well, now Ibanez gets a chance with 1 away.
Nice play by Molina.
Really good play.
Wow.
He was a wild pitch earlier in this ball game. Dave Urgetti, the pitching coach for the Giants, coming out to the mound. This is not what they had hoped from their left-hander against these lefties for the Phillies.
And they don't have a right-hander up in the bullpen, but as you mentioned, Tom, his numbers are very good against right-handers.
Dave Urgetti has been a pitching coach here in San Francisco for a long time.
Molina, see where that pitch was supposed to. How did he catch that?
Well, that's just throwing your glove over and saying, all right,
I'm just hoping.
let me just take a chance here and see if I can knock it down.
And he had no chance to get his body in front of that one. Could you see? Saw he was set up inside.
Two and 0 the count.
He's really wild with that hook. It's more of a curveball, it looks like, than a slider.
I guess you're expected. He's got to come in with a pitch here, so you might want to swing.
Well, you got to
you
got to eliminate half the plate, Tom. You're ahead in the count. All the pressure's on the pitcher now. You have to look in an area.
3-0 the count. Well, now you figure roll was taken.
I don't think so.
It sounds strange to say that, but Affeld's all over the place. You got J-Roll at third.
Right, and you don't want to. You see Utley at second and Ryan Howard at first. Right, you don't want to swing at a 3-0 pitch out of the strike zone and make an out here. And of course, conversely, you could do a lot of damage.
You could. Jason Worth waits on deck.
That's why we're up here, and the manager's telling him whether he can swing or not.
And it changes from game to game too.
Absolutely does. Situation is situation.
Take it all the way. Ball 4, and how about that? The Phillies without a hit with a runner in scoring position tonight get a run on a bases-loaded walk, and they lead it 2-0.
Well, not that any of those pitches were close, but what a great at-bat by Ibanez. Knowing the pressure's all on Jeremy Affeldt there, and he just was not going to swing, it looked like, till he got a strike, or at least got a strike in the area that he wanted it.
And now it's left up to Jason Worth with the bases loaded and 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. And this is a good spot for Jason, who homered his first time up because he's facing a lefty. And he hits in the air down the right field line. It'll slice foul. Just foul. Well, that ball didn't slice anywhere near the way I thought it was going to.
Hit the bricks out there, too. It's really short down that line. It's only 309 feet at the pole.
Those bricks from the ground up to the top, 24 feet high.
It's a fastball, and he's late on it. And you said slicing a little bit, and then boink, right off the bricks.
I thought it would slice a whole lot more than that. 0-1 the count. Oh, the infield back.
Well, they're playing for a double play here. You know, they're figuring that they could get a double play, or if, you know, the worst thing would be they give up a run for an out. They don't want to give up 2 on a cheapie.
Jason has struggled on this road trip, and that's why he's 0 for his last 8 against left-handed pitching. And he's down to the count 1-2.
This guy's got a 94, 95 fastball he's throwing up there. With those numbers against right-handed hitters, he does throw a changeup. Haven't seen that yet.
Phillies with 8 grand slams this year. That ties the franchise record. And Jason has one of them. Try to back him up with a slider. 2-2.
Yeah, he's trying to get him chase off speed there.
One per 2.6 opportunities. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's like a sinker ball pitcher.
Yep. Jason doesn't hit into too many ground ball double plays. He stays alive and remains 2-2. Line drive toward left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Howard read it beautifully. He's going to score from second, right behind Chase Utley. A 2-run single for Jason Worth, and the Phillies lead it 4-0.
Right on, Tom, with Ryan Howard. And Bruce Bochy's going to make a pitching change now. He reads this just great. It's a high fastball. He gets on top of it. Line smash. There's no way Aaron Rowan can get there, and Ryan Howard saw that from second base. And see Cliff Lee saying, that's what I've heard about. But they can add some runs once in a while. I haven't seen it, but now I see it. And what a nice feeling he has to give everybody in that dugout the way he's been pitching here tonight.
And finally a base hit with a runner in scoring position. Worth has 3 RBIs. Bruce Bochy, well, he's got another pitcher coming in. Well, you had to figure the Phillies were due, and they finally did get a base hit with a runner in scoring position. In fact, it was a 2-run single by Jason Worth, and it has sent Jeremy Affeldt to the showers. Bobby Howry is the new pitcher for the Giants. In fact, he is the 3rd pitcher used in this inning. 40th game, 0-5 with a 3.55 ERA. And he'll face Pedro Feliz with 2 runners on and 1 out. And he delivers a pitch at the knees for a strike at 93 miles an hour. Feliz just 1 hit against Howry. He's got a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. And that one's toward right field. Wynn is there to make the grab. And Ibanez will tag from second and head to third. And 2 outs. Well, Total Phillies coverage begins tomorrow night at 8:30 with Phillies pregame live. Being here on the West Coast, we get more and more coverage on what the Phillies are doing, not only with the Giants, but also with the Arizona Diamondbacks this past week. And Jimmy Rollins and Charlie Manuel, boy, they have talked an awful lot this year. Whether it be when Jimmy was struggling so much or as he has started to get out of his funk and has started swinging the bat a little bit more.
Well, two guys who like to chat. Jimmy's a chatty guy. He loves to talk baseball, and who likes to talk baseball more than Charlie Manuel?
Particularly when they're winning 4-0.
Well, it seems more fun.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the things you just seen that have gone right in this inning.
Runners on first and third. Jimmy started this whole thing with a leadoff walk, scored a run, got a stolen base. Here's Baco.
Well, they had some patient at bats in this inning, and then, as you said, somebody was due to finally get a hit with some men on base, and Jason Worth did a good job of getting on top of that fastball.
Yeah, Wheels, this is the 8th man to come up in the inning. The Phillies have 1 hit.
Stay with them.
3 walks, a hit batter, 1 hit, and they've scored 3 runs.
At that San Francisco atmosphere right now. It's cold. The fog's all over the place.
Everybody but Baco wearing long sleeves in a Phillies uniform.
Give him some credit here tonight too. He's done a nice job with Cliff Lee. They've really worked well together. There's see that fog in the lights.
Almost looks like a scary movie.
Oh, yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Baco.
There were nights here when you played out of Candlestick where the outfielders are going, I don't know where the ball is. It would be like that, only much worse.
I wonder even now though if there's a ball hit up, if it is tough to see it.
It could be.
It's late for the Phillies fans. It's after midnight back home.
Talking to that group that came out here today on the trip out to the Bay Area trip, and said, hey, look how lucky you are. You get to watch Cliff Lee tonight while everybody's falling asleep.
That's a really good point. And there are those folks who are here as part of the City by the Bay tour. You know that's them because they're wearing the City by the Bay red fleeces that were given out to them.
Those are nice jackets.
Cliff Lee waits on deck.
They get a tour of the ballpark here today.
Started chanting for Charlie Manuel as they're walking around the ballpark.
They were chanting for Charlie, and Charlie said, well, they can't help themselves. They're only human. He's funny. Charlie is so unpretentious. He is just such a great down-to-earth guy, and he keeps such a level playing field with his emotions, at least for the players.
Well, how about he was asked today about Pablo Sandoval not making the All-Star team for the National League, and Charlie took Jason Worth instead when he had a chance to take Pablo. As Baco sends one to the air to right center field. Wynn on the run, so is Rowan, and Wynn makes the grab, and the inning is over. And Charlie said, they might be upset. I'm used to that. I can take it. I took my guy. Jason Worth, well, he had the big blow in this inning and has had 2 in this game. That's why he is an all-star. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia quiz. Look out, Wheels. Answer. Who are the 4 rookies of the year for the San Francisco Giants?
Well, Mays and McCovey, they have to be in there. And Sarge. No?
Well, you got 2 right. You got McCovey.
Mays won the Rookie of the Year?
You got Sarge. He was a Rookie of the Year for the New York Giants. New York Giants.
Right. Yeah.
You got 2 more guesses. Come on, 2 more. Come on.
All right, the only other one I can think of is Cha-Cha, Orlando Cepeda.
Correct. You've got 3 of 4, and the last one, John the Count Montefusco.
John Montefusco.
You log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Cliff Lee begins the bottom of the 7th inning. He's got a 4-run lead to work with. William McCovey with 521 home runs. His rookie year was back in 1959. Willie Mays 660 home runs.
Willie Mays lost years to the Army, and in Candlestick Park The wind used to knock balls down to left and left center in that ballpark before they enclosed it.
Well, you think about Candlestick Park is about 6 miles from where this beautiful place is. As the pitch is up high, 3-0 to Velez. You think about how many home runs Willie Mays would have, and think about the history of Willie. Next year, how about this, Wiz, is the 60th anniversary as Velez takes a leadoff walk. 60th anniversary of Willie Mays making his professional baseball debut in Trenton, New Jersey.
Wow. 60 years. 60 years.
Leadoff walk. Lee has thrown just 73 pitches. He's walked just 2.
You know, he sat around a long time. That was a great inning because the Phillies got some more runs out of it, but he sat there for a long time, and he showed a little bit right there. He came out and he was a little bit rusty. Only 73 pitches, and that includes 11 to Garco and 1 at bat.
And he throws another one out of the strike zone, and Paul Bacco's going to go out and talk to him. Cliff Lee averaged in the American League 106.9 pitches per outing, and that's durability. And Pablo Sandoval has built up a pretty good following here in San Francisco. You see the panda heads that 2 of the fans are wearing down the third base line. Hey, the Arizona Diamondbacks will be in Philadelphia Tuesday, August 18th for a 3-game series. That middle game's already sold out, but there are good seats available for game 1 and 3. You can log on to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today.
This guy is such great commander, and all of a sudden he doesn't look like the mound. You see him he's out there manicuring a little bit, was Cliff Lee, and he just kind of lost the strike zone in this inning.
Rich Doobie said before when we talked to him that he'll take some time to try to figure out Cliff Lee and his tendencies. He's probably trying to figure out right now, do I go out to talk to him? Do I get Chan Ho Park or somebody up to start loosening? It's a feeling out process for everybody.
Yeah. And as I said, that was a long inning that they just had, and we talk about how cold it is here, and he's having a little trouble with his command here to start this inning.
There's a strike, and it's 3-1. To the count. Sandoval has bounced back to the mound weakly. Fly to center. Benji Molina waits on deck. In fact, the Giants have just the 1 hit. It came last inning off the bat of Juan Uribe. I think that's his first toss over to first base.
Boy, he hasn't that many guys over there. Said the one Garco walk, and he got eliminated on double play, and then the hit was a double.
Got him. Sandoval went fishing. Down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, this guy looks like a really good offensive player, but he will swing the bat. You can get him to chase now. He's very aggressive, and down by that many runs, and he's got to take his walk there.
We'll play on words.
That's good.
Welcome new Philly. Benji Molina, the batter. He takes one on the outside corner. All right, looks like Cliff Lee has found his arm slot again.
He really looked like he was panicking too, didn't he? I mean, his expression was funny to watch him out there. It's like, what am I doing?
Probably mad at himself more than anything else.
Right. He's a stone face.
Last 20 starts, Lee has allowed 3 earned runs or less in 18 of them. You can see his ERA as the games move on during his career. I think it's a good sign when you start out at a lower number than what the middle innings dictate, but then you finish with a lower number than what the middle innings dictate.
Yeah, it's a good point. Another thing about a veteran pitcher is they know how to correct themselves out there. I mean, they should.
On the hands, a pop-up over toward J-Roll. Now Lee has gotten 2 outs.
Boy, this guy moves the ball in and out, and then he goes upstairs for intentional high pitches to get guys to chase.
Well, the last 3 American League Cy Young Award winners who have switched gears and come over to the National League, look at what they've done. Santana 27-15, a 2.74 ERA. Sabathia last year with the Brewers was unbelievable.
And Zito's starting to pick it up a little bit. They say everybody you talk to around here says Zito's pretty good right now.
And we'll see him on Sunday to wrap up the series.
This is a guy gave Cliff that long at bat early in the game, 11 pitches, and he's still only at 84 with 2 outs in the 6th inning with 11 pitches to 1 guy. In the 7th inning, I mean.
Pop up, shallow right center field. Chase Utley is there, calls everybody off, and Lee is through 7 innings. He's allowed 1 hit and 3 base runners overall through the first 7. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And by your local Chevy dealers. Top of the 8th inning. Yes, the cheesesteak heads are here. And you know what? They got themselves some pretty good seats. Phillies fans made their way down to those box seats right behind home plate. I'm sure the Giants and the Phillies can hear every word that's coming out of their mouths.
Whether they want to or not.
Had to go on StubHub for those, right, Wills?
Look at that cheesesteak. Huh? Is that what that is?
That's cheesesteak. Yep. Either that or it looks like a taco.
Yeah, I was wondering what that is.
Here's Lee, who takes one low. He's got a base hit in 3 at-bats.
Since it's a Phillies fan, let's go with a cheesesteak.
Yep. Phillies have 4 runs on 6 hits tonight. Lee has 1 of them. He's held the Giants to no runs on 1 hit. And Lee puts a charge into one. Left center field. Rowan going back. He's not going to get this one off the top of the wall. And Lee heading to second base. He's there standing.
He almost hit a home run.
Wow.
See, that's our new guy right there. See, I'm telling you now, and Ruben Amaro, he brought a pretty good guy. Oh, he smiles.
He brought a pretty good hitter.
He laughs about it. That ball's out of Philadelphia. This thing is smoked. It's a fastball. Aaron Rowan's playing shallow, of course. Look at that thing hit 3/4 of the way up the wall. That's our guy right there. That's my new guy. I like him. I knew that was the right trade to make.
Yeah. Well, here's Jimmy with a runner on second. Jimmy walked his last time up, and he lines one to center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. He'll hold Lee at third. So runners on first and third. Lee has matched his career high or his season career total in hits with the 2 tonight.
And his first extra base hit ever.
Yeah, first double. Hey, speaking of Jimmy Rollins, who just had this base hit, his 4th annual Celebrity Baseball Tournament will take place August 17th at Lucky Strike Bowling Lanes. All proceeds will benefit the Rollins Family Foundation and the Eastern Pennsylvania Arthritis Foundation. You can log on to jimmyrollins.com for more information. That is a great event and a lot of fun. Here's Ben Francisco. He's been on base twice tonight. Hit the ball hard all 4 times. And the count 0-1 to him. In fact, I think this year's Wheels at the baseball tournament, I'm going to go at it with Sarge and see who can bowl the best.
You two are?
Yeah. You want to come out?
No. I appreciate the offer, though, but I can't that night.
Jimmy will get you a bowling shirt that says Wheels.
Oh, he would do that. He calls me Wheelio. I like to bowl. I enjoy bowling.
Well, Sarge bowled I think it was a 132 in the last bowling tournament, not Jimmy's. I think I could beat that.
Be careful. A little pressure on you.
Infield is in halfway with a count 1-1. And that one's in the air to left field. Velez is going back to the warning track. It should be deep enough to get Lee home. He tags from third. He's going to score. And the Phillies lead it 5-0. And Francisco has hit 5 bullets tonight.
Look at Lee. Look at the reaction for Cliff Lee in the Phillies dugout. He said yesterday, everybody was talking to him. He says he's looking forward to having a chance to swing the bat a little bit. Yeah, that Francisco, he's wearing out that left center field area.
There's 3 balls out there.
He's going to hit some home runs. No doubt about it. And so the 2 new guys are having a nice night.
And the Phillies have a 5 spot against the Giants here tonight. As Chase takes one low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Actually, Cliff Lee's first at bat. He didn't think he had it in him.
He's taking a nice little short swing when he's up there the first time. Fouled a few balls off. Talking about how he didn't say, he didn't smile a whole lot when he's pitching. He smiles when he hits.
Utley skies one to left center. Rowan sets up to throw as he makes that catch, knowing Jimmy's on first base. Second out of the inning.
See, we were talking about this the other day. Even pitchers, when they get a hit, they won't tell everybody what they did. I had that nice swing, his fastball right here. Good swing. See how he stayed back.
Sit next to Milt.
Sure. Sure. When the guy makes an out or strikes out, they won't talk as much.
All right, now, before we panned up to Milt, Lee looked up as Chase walked by. And, Chase just flat out to center field. You think he was looking for some affirmation to Chase and then realized, uh-oh, I'm not going to say anything to that guy. He just popped out.
Now look at this. This is a nice short swing, a fastball. Bang. And he kind of looked at it like, man, I hit that pretty good.
That ball jumped.
That's a home run in a lot of ballparks, but here it's really deep out in that area. Left center field was 382 where that thing hit. Just to the right of the 382 off that advertising sign.
1-1 the count to Howard, who was hit by pitches last time and then loaded up the bases. And set up the bases loaded walk to Ibanez that gave the Phillies a 2-0 lead. Howery is the 5th pitcher used tonight by Bruce Bochy. Ryan Sadowski started. He went only 4 through 82 pitches. When he left, it was a 1-0 game. Giants trailed it. Bochy was probably figuring, well, I got Lincecum tomorrow. He goes deep into games. I'm in a ball game with a guy that's allowed a lot of base runners. Let me dip into my bullpen now and see if I can steal a victory here. And speaking of victories on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Mark Reynolds, home run, a double. Diamondbacks beat the Mets 3-2. And Ryan tried to hold up. He went around, and he's down on strike for the 3rd time tonight. Phillies, though, get a run on a sac fly by Ben Francisco after that guy doubled to start the inning. Cliff Lee's got a 5-run lead to work with as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Watch this as Lee comes out to the mound. He runs in and out at the end of each inning and also at the beginning of each inning. And watch as he goes through his little antics here to get himself ready to throw his first pitch of the inning. It's not toward the plate. It's, well, after a whirlwind, a windmill of the arm, it's the center. Every inning.
Well, don't forget now, he is a left-hander.
Well, that is true.
And they're going to do some different things.
Aaron Rowan takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1.
Pretty good debut to this point.
Real good debut.
Not bad. Ways to go, but pretty impressive through 7.
Well, everything that they said about him, about being a strike thrower, I mean, he is a strike thrower.
How about how quick he works? Yeah, if you're an infielder, outfielders, especially infielders, They gotta love this tempo.
Rowan's 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play, and he's flying out to right field.
Aaron hit a ball hard his first time up into that double play.
Yeah, Chase just took it on one hop, and it turned out to be an easy one.
That may be the first time tonight it looks like Lee shook off Baca, or that they weren't quite sure where to go. That's how good, that's how well they have communicated tonight for the first time. It's really been impressive. So he wanted the high fastball there, and Lee has been very effective with that. He didn't get it. He got it. It was actually into the strike zone. And so Baca put the glove up. But they've really trusted each other tonight. That's changeup.
Line drive. That's going to be a base hit for Rowan. Second extra base hit of the night for the Giants. And it's the first time, or excuse me, the second time that they've had the leadoff batter aboard. On the next Phillies clubhouse, catch up with Kyle Drabick, the Phillies prospect that other teams covet. MLB insider Ken Rosenthal examines what the options are in the trade market. You know, the trade deadline came and went at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Plus, Milt Thompson shows off fundamentals of hitting, and Rich Doobie shares how he gets the best out of the pitching staff on Phillies clubhouse, presented by Cherry Hill Toyota Scion, Saturday afternoon at 1:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. The now players must go through the waiver wire before they can be traded, as Renteria bunts one toward third. The throw by Lee, and he's out at first base. Oh boy, talk about threading a needle. And Lee put an awful lot on that toss to Ryan Howard.
Saw that early in the game when he made a fielding play. It was a much easier play. And Ryan Howard, give him some credit too, because guys don't want to hang in on this play because you can really get hurt. Good job by Renteria just trying to go. Now look how far he comes for this. He throws a seed, and Ryan Howard hangs in there too. Right there. Well, you don't want to get your arm in there because you're really defenseless. It almost looked like it came off his forearm. The forearm of Renteria too.
So runner on third with one out. Here's Uribe. And he's got the only other hit tonight for the Giants. By the way, Rowan, who's on third, went to third on this bunt play.
Yeah, it's in his glove, and then it almost gets knocked out of there by Renteria.
Fly ball to right. Rowan tags from third. Worth is under it. Rowan's heading to the plate. Here's the throw to the plate on one hop. Baco tries to block the dish, but Rowan kicks the foot away. First run of the night for the Giants. Baco did everything he could. Worth did just about everything he could to try to stop the only run for the Giants from scoring tonight.
And it throws up the line a little bit. Baco does throw the foot down.
Wow.
And Aaron Rowan just kicks it out of there. So he has to reach for it. And that takes a little of the leverage away for the catcher when he has to lift up a little bit like that. And then Aaron was able to kick the shin guard out of there.
So it's 5-1 Phillies. Their lead is at 4. Here's Travis Ishikawa pinch hitting for the Giants at the bottom of the 8th inning. Aaron Rowan, that double that he had was his 1,000th career base hit. 1 ball and 1 strike to count.
And congratulations to him, because we saw a lot of those.
Yeah, he was a good one, boy, when he was in Philadelphia for those 2 years. He was no doubt a fan favorite.
Well, he was forevermore when he splattered himself on that center field wall that night in that game against the Mets.
Bases loaded. Xavier Nady. Oh, look at that hop. That took a bad hop right over the glove of Chase Utley. That's going to be a base hit. Second hit of the inning allowed by Lee. And it's a pinch hit single for Ishikawa.
Yeah, this looks like the 3rd out of the inning. An easy ground ball to second. Utley right there. And it took a goofy hop and skipped right past him. Here's another look at it up close. Oh, it hit the cutout. That's what made it do that. Right where the grass and the dirt joined, it hit right on that and jumped.
Well, Paul Bacco goes out to the mound. They're probably buying some time for Ryan Madson to get loose there. I mean, Lee is only at 96 pitches. And Charlie's watched him throw it really a very easy 96 pitches tonight. He has sat a few times. He's run the bases as well. And Randy Wynn is the batter with 2 outs. And there's a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1.
68 strikes, 29 balls.
There's Madson. One ball, 1 strike, the count. Tomorrow, Cliff Lee will be a spectator when the Phillies see the National League Cy Young Award winner, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Tim Lincecum, face Joe Blanton.
Well, they want to win this game tonight and then face Lincecum tomorrow night, and that's a challenge. Coming off a 15 strikeout game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that game is scheduled for 9:05 Eastern, 6:05 local time. Be a lot of baseball in this area tomorrow, just as there is now, as Wynn skies one to right. Worth just moves a few strides to his right, and the inning is over. Well, Cliff Lee gives up his first run on a couple base hits. But we go to the 9th. The Phillies on top by 4. Top of the 9th inning. Phillies lead it 5-1. And Cliff Lee, he'll sit and watch as the Phillies offense goes back to work. Phillies do have Ryan Madson continuing to throw in the bullpen. It's time now for the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. The 2 former teammates, well, the 2 teammates, the guys that were acquired from the Cleveland Indians, sitting next to each other in the dugout here at AT&T Park. And Sergio Romo is the new pitcher for the Giants. 21st game. Romo is listed at 5'11". He looks smaller than that as he stands out on the mound, getting ready to face Raul Ibanez, Jason Worth, and Pedro Feliz.
And at this point, the bullpen just took a seat.
I figured that Lee was right around 100 pitches, so Charlie is thinking, well, I might as well give him a chance to finish this one off. There's that Phillies bullpen. You kind of lose them now. They're all the way down the right field line where they sit. They got a little tent out there, a little canopy. I said to Mick Billmeyer, I said, yeah, we didn't even see you guys down there. I said, you're all the way in the corner now. He said, yeah, there's a bench. We rotate. 2 guys can sit at one time, and then, after about 5 minutes, we switch.
Well, they had a space problem here. They had to build this place. There you see.
A big bench down there.
You see where the bullpens are. They didn't have any bullpens originally. And, when you see this beautiful piece of ground, the view and everything, well, you see how small the parcel of ground is they had to work with. And that was one of the things. They didn't have bullpens, and then they finally had to put them on the field. But the bottom line was they got this thing built and got everybody out of Candlestick.
And it is a gorgeous place to watch a game. 0-2 the count to Ibanez. 1-2.
But they were very limited, especially towards right field, because the water's right out there. And that water comes up pretty quick on the left, too.
2-2.
An old Candlestick, they built they had like a little shed down there they used to sit in, and because the wind would blow so hard and the dust would blow, and it was right on the ground, the bullpens were on the field, and they had that area where they were all sitting there and just to try and stay warm and stay out of the dust.
Ibanez down on strikes for out number 1. Yeah, the bullpens late at Candlestick were on the opposite side of your dugout. Roger Craig, who was the manager of the Giants back when they were really good in the 80s, you know, he wanted to see what the guys in his bullpen were doing, so he switched them, you know, from one side of the field to the other.
Gene Mauch did that with the Phillies when he was managing in the 60s. Phillies were in the third base dugout. He wanted the bullpen in the right field area, so that when there was a huge scoreboard at Connie Mack Stadium and a big high right field wall, and he wanted somebody out there and they're waving a towel when the ball was going to hit the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to help the third base coach, and that was one of Gene Mauch's things back in the 60s. And you know, Gene Mauch did a lot of things that other people didn't think about.
Off the end of the bat, he pulls it to left. Worth does, and Velez is there. 2 outs. Well, it's very difficult to be a third base coach, and sometimes, you know, it's up to that person to make a split-second decision. But then when you have another guy waving a towel, you better have a good guy with good eyes out there too.
Try to think who the third base coach would have been in those days. That had to be it might have been George Myatt. Anyway, it had to be a challenge. Peanuts Lowry, maybe. Some old names. There's some names from the past for the Phils.
Pedro's 1 for 3 tonight. He takes it for a strike. You know what I'm saying, though, Wheels? I mean, you got to trust the guy over at third base. You know that he's really good at what he does, makes good decisions. But back when Gene Mauch had the guy waving the towel, you had to trust the third base coach and trust the guy that was waving the towel.
Make sure that ball's going to hit the wall of the scoreboard. That's for sure.
0-2 the count. Boy, Pedro really stayed with that breaking ball. Nice play by Renteria. And Pedro's thrown out to finish off the top of the 9th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. The storyline tonight is Cliff Lee in his Phillies debut. We'll see if he comes out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cliff Lee is right at 100 pitches as we begin the bottom of the 9th inning. You know, when they lay out the script of a major league debut or of a debut with a new team, I'm not sure if you can lay out a better script than that right there for Cliff Lee.
One more inning to go, and you said they're going to give him a chance to pitch a complete game. As you said, the script, Tom, with 2 hits himself. There's a low hit complete game is 3. He's done it 3 times. Last time was against the Cardinals this year when he took a no-hitter deep into that game.
Well, he's got 3 complete games so far this year. Those 3, of course, with the Cleveland Indians. 3 complete games, 1 shutout. And he's 3 outs away from having his 4th complete game here in 2009, which would tie his number from last year when he won the Cy Young.
And Madsen and Lidge are both up as the inning begins.
Well, he just threw a first pitch strike. That's 19 first pitch strikes to 29 batters, and they're the 2 relief pitchers. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Velez, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lee threw 7 innings his last time out against Seattle. But prior to that, he allowed 1 run in each of his last 2 outings before the 26th against the Mariners and pitched complete games there. And Velez starts things off with a leadoff single to right field.
I'm sure they have in mind on that bench right now with Rich Doobie and Charlie on how far they'll let him go in this inning. You know, or a particular matchup they don't like if men get on base, that they would rather somebody else come into the game.
103 pitches with some unbelievable splits. And Charlie just sitting and watching right now.
We got 2 good hitters coming up now, too, in Sandoval and Molina. We've seen them now 3 times. This is the 4th time they've seen him, and these guys make contact.
Yeah, the 2 are combined 0 for 6 tonight.
They're the kind of guys that you figure they're not going to strike out, and you know, maybe one of them will hit. Maybe we'll hit it with a double play because they swing.
You got 2 real fidgety guys out there. I shouldn't say fidgety, but just high energy guys. You got Sandoval at the plate and Lee on the mound. Just
guy behind the plate, by the way, has done a really good job tonight.
Todd, the same thing.
Titchener, we really haven't talked about him, and that's always a good sign. And it just, just gave a little on that one because it was close.
1-2 the count.
Boy, he does swing upstairs. He likes to chase. He looks like he really likes the ball down, too. That's where he hits it, but he will chase upstairs, especially if you get ahead of him.
Lee tonight has had 28 batters in which he's thrown 3 pitches or less. Or I should say 15 batters where he's thrown 3 pitches or less. That's still pretty good. A looper towards short. He's going to retire Sandoval for the 4th time tonight.
Got him way out in front of some kind of off-speed pitch there, either change up or breaking ball.
And 1 away.
Here it is. It's a breaking ball. And look how far out in front.
Fooled him.
Sandoval fooled him big time. Hitting off his front foot, lunging.
Molina lines 1-on-1, hop to Utley. They've got time. He flips to second for 1, over to first. And how about that? Cliff Lee in his Phillies debut throws a complete game as the Phillies win it 5-1. It's his 3rd complete game in his last 4 outings overall, and he's tucking that baseball right into his back pocket. That was impressive.
Wow.
3rd win of this road trip for the Phillies. And the acquisition just a couple of days ago for Charlie Manuel really came through in a big way tonight.
Well, the Phillies really felt that they had picked up a heck of a pitcher in Cliff Lee, and what a debut. And tremendous month, Tom, for the Phillies. A month of July, the most wins since back in the 60s in the month of July.
How about that? The Phillies came in tonight with 19 wins, their most since '77. 20 wins now, their most since 1963. And Cliff Lee tips his cap to the Phillies fans who are behind the first base dugout, as they have just won it 5-1. And what a great night for the Phillies left-hander, being congratulated by his teammates outside the dugout. And he's also being congratulated by Sarge, who's down on the field with the Phillies left-hander. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Lee, couldn't ask for a better debut and coming out and pitching for the Fighting Phils. How'd you feel tonight?
I felt good. You know, I was throwing strikes, working ahead in the count, and they were hitting the balls too, people, you know. So, yeah, it went good. We scored some runs there and got me a little cushion there, so it was a lot of fun.
Now, that first hit off of Uribe, I thought that was a pretty good pitch that you threw. He inside out at that ball.
Yeah, they, you know, I made some bad pitches. They hit at people too, so it kind of evened out. But shoot, anytime I can get that deep in the game and give us a chance to win, I'm super happy. So I'm really pleased with how it went.
How about your hitting? Tell me about that then.
I don't know. It's been a while. We played some interleague this year, but I haven't had a hit in like 2 or 3 years. So, yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I hope it sticks around, though.
Well, the fans in Philly are going to be glad to have you. Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you for the post-game show. Continued success.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Tom Wills?
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. What a night for Cliff Lee. His first National League victory. Who else would be our Chevrolet player of the ball game?
Yeah, who else? That's the arrival of Cliff Lee tonight. And here he goes with his first batter, and he strikes him out. And then look at this fielding play. He would make another really good one later. He fielded his position, swung the bat. The guy was a total package tonight.
Total package. He really was.
You know, as you mentioned, Tom, he got hitters out quickly. I thought he worked great with Baco all night, too. There was just that one time. Here's that other play he makes. And Ryan Howard does a good job on that. Just that one time they had a little bit of indecision, how to talk it over. There's a double play we're hoping for from one of the slow guys. CG in your first game with 2 hits. What a job.
3rd complete game in his last 4 outings. He keeps that baseball. Oh, that's going to go to a very special place. Phillies win it 5-1. And we'll be back after this.